Welcome to Backyard Planking. My name is Charles. I'll be your host as we go through and explore everything BB and pellet related, from air pistols, air rifles, targets, and ammo. Today, we're going to look at another one from UMAREX. Before I start, we've been looking at a lot of UMAREX products here lately. Now, don't get me wrong, there's always a special place in my heart for Daisy and Crossman, and you know, there's a lot of manufacturers out there now, and most of them, bar a couple of them that we've looked at so far, are trying to do a pretty good job. The market changes, people change, features that they want, all that kind of stuff. UMAREX really seems to be trying to step up and stay ahead of the game. Let's face it, if you ain't the lead dog, the scenery never changes, and they are trying their best to be the lead dog. Which brings me to this part. Yesterday, my better half and I were talking, and she says, it's really weird that seems like there's a lot of air gun manufacturing people and whatnot that wound up in the state of Arkansas. Daisy's been there since '59, but UMAREX is in Rogers, Bear River's in Fort Smith, and there's actually several others. So, well, I don't know. Maybe when Slick Willie Clinton pulled out of Arkansas, he sucked all the air out of the state. They had to bring some people back in to repressurize it. Which led me to another joke, but she says, well, that's funny, I get it, but there might be some younger people, watching the video, so maybe you ought to just keep that zipped up for now. Anyway, this is the one that you saw the teaser for a few days back. The Steel Force from UMAREX. About 430 feet per second. It's got a 300 round bulk reservoir in it. 30 round magazine that you can load on the side. And a 6 round burst. So, start with this. 2 CO2 cartridges. They're contained inside the magazine. So when you get this thing, if you can figure out how to open it, that comes off. 2 cartridges. They send 2 small tools. You only need one, and even if you were to lose those, it doesn't really matter. You can use an Allen wrench, tighten the CO2 up, put those in, clip it back on. It only fits one way. Flip up peep sight in the back, flip up front sight. Now, you take it out of the box, you will have to take a little bit of white paint and dot the front sight. But this might wind up being one of the only ones that I own that winds up having an optic. Now, it's not a true quad rail, but it's a Picatinny at the bottom, Picatinny on the right, and on the top. The left-hand side is where your magazine is, your 30 round. Slide the handle forward, lock it into place, and then you got to kind of dance with it a little bit to get them to load. That's probably the only thing that I'm not crazy about. I know there's only so many things that you can do on a platform, but it is what it is. It does have a 6-position adjustable stock that'll go all the way out. The thing actually shoots pretty good. I mean, I've had a little while to experiment with it, and so far everything that I put the sights on, I've hit, you know, all the way up to 9-10 yards, which is not far, but it's far enough. I had to see if I can devise some kind of a challenge target to see how many of the 6 rounds that we can get, you know, on a target. I will tell you this much: with a 6-round burst, even going just like at, you know, one of the swinging steel targets, most of them are always there. So now you slide the front sight back, and that's where the BBs are going to pour into the reservoir for the bulk. And I will tell you this: the more that you have in the reservoir in the bulk, the easier it is to get the magazine to load. Trust me. Enough said. Does have a charging handle. Not sure what for. There's no description in the instructions about it, but there is an important part that's in there that tells you how to clear a jam. So if you get one of these, read all the instructions. You know, because you're talking about 6 that are going back and forth, and you can really get on the trigger. You'll eat up 30 rounds before you know it. I mean, it cycles really well and quick. Take a few shots. I mean, it pretty much goes where it's supposed to. Fun switch. One left. Now, the little handle will come back as you deplete the stuff in the magazine. Pull it up, lock it into place, and we dance. That's all I got. Wherever the handle stops, it kind of gives you an idea about how many is in there. And you'll get a rock technique to it, you know, be able to get it in there pretty quick. It's actually not all that bad. I hate having to do all of that to get something to load. Imagine having to do that with a Glock. Let's see, we're fully loaded now. So I'll take one of the little swinging steel targets and just put a 6-round burst on it. Pretty much goes where it's supposed to, which is one of the advertisements that any of the ones that you get a hold from UMAREX zeroed in, and they're supposed to be. Every one of them. This one is. So this thing, they actually had a sale on these. All right, so you're not really going to be able to pick this thing up off of the shelf. You will have to go to UMAREX USA and look around, and you'll find it in there. It's steel force. They had a sale before Thanksgiving, and they're supposed to be doing another one, you know, up to and I think through Christmas. But you know, it's going to be $106, $110, you know, plus the shipping that, you know, you're going to have to pay. After that, you're going to be somewhere around the $129 to $140 range. It just kind of depends on what's going on. 2 CO2 cartridges, depending on how many of the 6-round bursts that you go through, you can pretty much empty the reservoir without having to change the cartridges. Now, granted, once you get down to the end, you can tell that the performance is starting to drop off more and more, but you know, CO2 cartridge, what do you expect? It's not bad. It's a lot of fun. And if I was going to go on a, you know, Saturday afternoon and challenge one of my buddies to, you know, target shooting contest, probably wouldn't pick this. I would still take it because it's a lot of fun to play with. It really is. But you got to remember, this thing is spitting out a lot of BBs, so you know, you don't ever shoot it at anything that can't react to, you know, be able to deflect them, because instead of having one round coming back, you got 6. Steel Force from UMAREX. Not bad. Till next time, my name is Charles. It's been Backyard Plinking.